Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallimu ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd. Respected brothers and sisters, as we know that our Islamic New Year has commenced, and it brings a lot of lessons and reminders. A lot of advices for those who ponder into how the time is running and flying very fast, how quickly the time is passing, and always now we are saying from our tongues that look how time is passing. There are three types of qiyamah. One is qiyamah-e-sughra, the second is qiyamah-e-wusta, and the third is qiyamah-e-kubra. Qiyamah-e-sughra is the qiyamah of each and every person who dies. For that individual, the qiyamah starts. Right? We call it qiyamah-e-sughra. So a person, one individual passes away, so now that is his or hers qiyamah. Right? Qiyamah-e-wusta, one generation after another. When one generation leaves, that is the qiyamah of that generation. And then the other, the third, fourth. And then qiyamah-e-kubra is the qiyamah that everything will perish. Right? Kullu man alayha fan wa yabqa wajhu rabbika dhul jalali wal ikram. Allah's Zat, Sifat will remain. Other than that, everything will perish. So this time should remind us about the hereafter, that how fast that we are getting closer to our destination. How soon the train will stop and it will be said, get out of the train. It is your time to leave the train. So how quickly we are going into our graves. But the real success is to use the best of this time to prepare for our next life, whatever time is left. Because now the countdown has begun. The time that we are born, our countdown is begun. So whatever little time that we have left, and then we prepare for the hereafter, we prepare for standing before Allah, that is a success. That we prepare ourselves, we make an effort for that. For a long time we make so much plans. We make plan, I want to better my Quran recitation. I want to better my tajweed. I want to do better in my salawat. I want to be better as a Muslim. So we plan these things. But whatever plan that we have done, have we executed those plans or not? So we're just planning. And then we plan to do that, and blinking of an eye, months, years has passed by. And we're still planning, I planned few months back, few weeks back, few years back, that I wanted to achieve this, but I couldn't. Why? I was so busy here and there. And all these weeks and months and years just pass by, just but planning, that's it. Now at least this year has begun, and this year is also going to pass. Whether we live this year or we don't live this year is going to pass. Now it is time to do something. Not plan, but to execute the plan. We have done so many plans. We have done. Now to apply it in our lives, in our day-to-day life, this is what we have to do, because as I said, the time is passing very quickly, and that there's no regret left on the Day of Judgment. Oh, I planned this, I wish I would have executed it and applied it in my life. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam spent his 53 years in Makkah. He was born in Makkatul Mukarramah and he lived 53 years in Makkah. And in Medina, 10 years. The Islamic year is counted from the hijrah, the migration of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Muslims from Makkah to Medina. If you remember the previous Friday, I talked about the history, how it came, the Hijri calendar, how it began. And then I would like to mention, I did mention this, that I would like to mention it, why did the Muslims chose hijrah to begin the year? Because there were so many events that happened before hijrah and so many events happened after hijrah that changed the world. But why did the Muslim chose hijrah? The birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam happened. The day which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given the nubuwwah, the prophethood, it happened. Ghazwa Badr happened. Ghazwa Uhud happened. Fatah Makkah happened. Sulh Hudaybiyah happened. So many things. Isra wa Mi'raj happened. One of the greatest miracles that Allah gave to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But no, hijrah was chosen. What was hijrah? What is this migration? People who lived in Makkah, who were born in Makkah, their forefathers lived in Makkah, generation upon generation lived there, very well established. They had families, relatives, business, jobs, properties. Even though it was the days of the Jahiliyyah, the times of ignorance, but these people were very close connected with the families. They valued the family unit. They valued it so much. Right? So everyone in Makkah was very well established. But a time came, the command of Allah came, that now that you have those who have accepted Islam has to migrate to Medina. It was farz, it was obligatory. So they all migrated from Makkah to Medina. They had to hand over their well-established life. They had to let go their well-established life. They had to let go their businesses, their wealth, their properties, their families and relatives. Not far relatives, but even the close relative, blood relation, they had to leave. Hazrat Suhaib Rumi radiallahu anhu, when he was leaving Makkah to Medina, there was some kuffar, some enemies were after him to kill him, to harm him. And he had that fear that if I don't do anything about it, they'll kill me. So Suhaib radiallahu anhu said to them, look, let's make a deal. There is some wealth that I have buried in Makkah. Because so many Sahaba, they had a lot of things, but they couldn't take everything with them. And they buried their wealth somewhere, wherever they wanted to bury in Makkah, so that later on they can come back and dig it out and take it with them to Medina. So Suhaib radiallahu anhu said to them, let's make a deal. There is some wealth, gold, silver, whatever wealth was. I have buried it somewhere. I will give you the map. You take it and you spare my life. They said, yeah, fine, no problem. So Hazrat Suhaib radiallahu anhu, he gave the map where it's located, and they left him and he came to Medina. Right when he entered to Medina, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he saw him from far away, he said, Rabi' al-bay' ya Aba Yahya, or Rabihat tijaratu ya Suhaib, that you did the most successful business today. And he said it 3 times. Can you imagine? For many, many years that we try our best to save for ourselves, for our families, that okay, you know, when I'm going to leave this dunya, my family, my kids might have something for them. They don't have to struggle the way that I have struggled. In seconds, he gave away his wealth. How many years did it take for him to accumulate that wealth? Whatever it was. And in seconds, he gave it away for what? Because it was the command of Allah to migrate, and it was for the sake of Allah. We might have made a deal, you know what, let's say 50-50. Huh? The wealth that I have dug, I have buried, let's go there, I'll give you half, I'll take half. 60-40, 70-30. We negotiate. But what did Suhaib radiallahu anhu did? He said, here's the map, here's everything, take everything, just leave, spare my life. So can you imagine when because from Makkah to Medina, now alhamdulillah there's train and all that, right? You can reach like in 2 hours, hour and a half and 2 hours. But in those days, walking, or they had some conveyance, what was going through his mind these days and weeks? And then when he reached to Medina, Rasulullah, subhanallah, such a glad tidings, because he knew from the revelation that what did Suhaib did, and from far away he said, Rabihat tijaratu ya Suhaib. This was a successful business, the dealing that you have done. Meaning you have been successful and Allah is pleased with you. Saying it, narrating it, reading it, it's very easy. It's easy to just send a text message, WhatsApp picture, Happy New Year. Happy New Islamic Year, 1445. But what is the philosophy? What's behind this hijrah? That's what I'm talking about. You know, we have learned about Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu. He was a bold and brave man. And what did he announce? There were some people who were going very, very hiding themselves and leaving Makkah to Medina because they were scared for their lives. Or they were scared for their wealth and properties, what they're leaving behind. Hazrat Umar, what did he made an announcement. He said, whoever wants his wife to become widow, or whoever wants his children to become orphans, try to stop me. We hear this, right? But we don't hear the other part. That Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu went to his wife and said, look, the command of Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to go and make hijrah. And I'm going to make hijrah. I'm a Muslim, but you're not a Muslim. You want to accept Islam? Fabiha is good, you come with me. What's your She said, I'm not satisfied with Islam. I don't want to accept Islam. He said, okay, you stay here, I'm leaving. And you imagine this, that a partner, being a partner, a person that you marry and you have the intention to live them forever until your last breath. A woman that you had children with for many, many years. What is going through the mind? And just left her and said no, because this is the command of Allah. They had seen nothing and they just left to Medina. Sacrifice. Sacrifice of family, sacrifice of wealth and property. This is what the hijrah was all about. Families, children, relatives, everything was left behind. There were many, many Sahaba. The only thing that they had, the clothes that they were wearing, and that's it. What does this new year, the Islamic New Year, reminds us? It is the sacrifice that they gave, not me and you. We cannot compare. They gave for Deen. And because of their sacrifice, we are sitting here in this part of the world, freely we are enjoying our lives, and we are practicing Islam because of their sacrifice. The sacrifice that Sahaba made for the first hijrah, that they went to Habsha, to Ethiopia, and the sacrifice that they made, that the second hijrah that they made to Medina. So this was, because we don't have that much time to cover all of this, just a minor thing that I just said. That when these new years come, especially I'm talking about our Islamic New Year, think about it. What is this? What is this Hijri calendar? What is the background of this? What is the lesson that we learn from the Hijrah? So many lessons. So it's all about the sacrifice that we give. But nowadays, what is the sacrifice that me and you has given? For not for myself, but for my deen, for my religion. When we say, take some few minutes to come to the masjid, take some few minutes to participate in the programs, take some few minutes of 24 hours to do this, take some to do that. What sacrifice I have given, that I have left everything and came to do this for the deen? What I have done? What I have done so that I can send Happy New Year for Islamic New Year? What is this Happy New Year? Look back of the history, read about it. When you read about the history, you will know that how have we reached at this place, the Muslims. It is not easy, brothers and sisters. And then when we think about it, what sacrifice that I have made in the year 1444? What have I done for my deen? Maybe I have done so much for myself and for my family, for the dunya. But what I have done really, truly, so I can say, Ya Allah, this is what I have brought for your sake. When we talk about the deen, when we talk about this, I'm busy, I'm this, I'm that. This is what the sacrifice is. You're busy, you are busy. This is what the sacrifice, even in the time of being busy, you leave everything and you come for the deen. This is what sacrifice is. I'm sick, I'm not feeling well, I'm exhausted, but it's the time to go to the masjid, you go there. This is what sacrifice is. When I have limited money to give or to help someone, but even though I'm giving a quarter out, at that moment 50 cents and dollar out, this is what sacrifice is. What I have done is sacrifice. So brothers and sisters, this is what I just wanted to mention about the Hijrah calendar, the background, and why they have chosen the Hijrah. Just a few examples I gave. The first month of the year, Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أفضل الصيام بعد شهر رمضان شهر الله محرم. Right? That the best fasting after Ramadan is in Muharram. Shahrullahi Muharram. So today is the 10th. We all know, alhamdulillah, most of us we are fasting. We have fasted yesterday, today, inshallah we'll fast tomorrow. But it doesn't end. The Muharram, the month of Muharram, as much as we can, we fast. Hafsa radiallahu anha, Ummahatul Mumineen, she says that 4 things normally Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't miss. Number 1, Somi Ashura, the fasting on the 10th. And number 2, Ashara Dhul Hijj, the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, he used to fast as much as. First 10 days meaning we count the 10, but the 10th is the Eid, so of course we don't fast on the Eid day. Number 3, Thalathata Ayyam fi kulli shahr. Every Islamic month, 3 days. It can be any. Whether it's continuous 3 days, it can be whatever it is. And number 4, Raka'atani qabl al-Fajr. 2 rakat before Fajr, the Sunnah. The Sunnah Muakkada, 2 rakat, he never missed. While he was in residence or he was traveling, he used to pray those 2 rakat of Fajr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to understand. Wa akhiru da'wana, alhamdulillah.